What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Okay guys, we're on the YouTube channel, and within the next 5 days or so, let's take a quick look. No, 3 days, we got ourselves the live stream from the actual company Netmarble and the developers about the game, what we can expect, some of the release points, some of the game updates, some of the modes, some gameplay in general. So I'm very, very excited for that. I'm going to be doing a live stream, probably hosting it as well. So for those who watch my channel and want to be a part of it, you guys know I'm huge about this game. And also, I was huge about One Punch Man World. And I want to talk a little bit about my concerns. And I think I'd be remiss to not talk about this after experiencing what happened with One Punch Man World, which was a huge, huge disappointment, but yet a hype game for me. And I'm hoping that the pitfalls of that game do not plague the pitfalls of this game. So a couple things I want to talk about first and foremost about the differences between the two and the similarities between the two. Okay, so first off, let's talk about similarities. Popular IPs, right? One Punch Man is super, super popular. I would go as far as to even say that One Punch Man might still be a little bit more popular than Solo Leveling Arise from a animated perspective, but I don't think from a manga perspective or a manhwa perspective, even though this show is like gangbusters right now and killing it in terms of its popularity. I think because of obviously the third season of One Punch Man One Punch Man coming out, it still might have the edge in the fact that it's a little bit more of a mature anime. I could be wrong there. That's just speculation on my end. But of course, two big popular IPs. And if you guys know anything about popular IPs, they're usually mishandled and mismanaged by big devs. There's just too much expectations from the audience, gamers like us, and then there is too much pressure on the development team to deliver a game with our knowledge of the characters, of the lore, of the story, and it becomes a daunting event. So I'm really, really hoping that they don't mess up like they did with One Punch Man, because I think that Solo Leveling is a vivid and extremely popular story. And I think they need to focus a lot more on the story mode, which I think they're going to be doing in this game based on some of the trailers that we've seen, right? Of course, the game does focus on very much the manhwa, not the anime. So keep that in mind especially I'm going to be playing this because it's coming out in Canada first, right? Early releases in Canada. So I'll be all over this every single day. And you guys can see here, like they've got Carton and Temple, which is the beginning. The throne room, of course, where he fights Icarus. We've got ourselves a demon castle where he fights Cerberus and a slew of demons until he gets to the 100th floor. We've got the lizards, the dungeon break. There's a lot of different events going on in this game. So we're almost caught up in the anime. So it's safe to say that this is probably going to push anime a little further, but still good to know that they are focusing more on the story mode, where One Punch Man story mode kind of fell on the backside, right? It was all about like assignments, side missions, etc., right? Which is fine, which is great, but the story really, really took a hit because the story mode was literally one fight and a quick cutscene, and that was it. So I really do hope they do dive in more into the stories, into the comics, etc., or the manhwa, and kind of, let us feel and live out those animations, cutscenes, etc., more, and make those fights kind of be a little bit more interactive. So that is a similar thing that they're both going to do. Now, one thing that One Punch Man World I think did a great job, which I don't think Solo Leveling Arise is going to do very good, is they opened up the cities for us to explore and do side missions and stuff. I don't think that exists at all in Solo Leveling Arise, and that's a concern for me because when we follow Jin Woo Sung's journey, there's a lot of different places he travels to, right? Whether it's a diner, whether it's a part of the city, whether it's going through a subway station, or if it's, exploring the city looking for different, I don't want to spoil too much, different portals and stuff of different grades, going through different islands, right? These are all places that would, and I hope, are going to be explorable, but I don't think there's going to be an exploration aspect of this game, or in this game at least, which I think One Punch Man World did a fairly decent job of. Now, there was a lot of mundane things to do, a lot of shallow things in One Punch Man that could have tightened up and been more meaningful, but to have any form of exploration, I think, is a great thing for any IP that's related to an anime, because you want to feel and look and be in that world, right? So, for example, when we go into the Demon Castle, are we going to be able to traverse the different floors ourselves, or is it just going to be animation as we go up, right? Or is it like, can we go around and explore, find items, etc., right? Because this is technically an MMORPG built into the anime. The character is a player within his own life. So I think One Punch Man World might have the leg up on that for for the exploration aspect, while Solo Leveling Arise probably has a one leg up on the story mode. All right, I think those are two very big things. Now for combat, we know there's three different combats, right? There's going to be a story combat, which follows the storyline, which we just talked about, obviously, and Jinwoo is going to be the main hero. You're going to be able to use some other hunters that you, I guess, either gacha or get through the game, and they will assist you in that game. So you're going to pretty much live your life through his eyes, which makes sense. Again, the story mode is through Jinwoo's eyes almost the entire way through. So I'm okay with that. Now, there's two other modes. There's going to be the hunter mode, which allows you to choose 4 different characters outside of Jinwoo and explore portals, which I'm very excited about. But those are going to be very similar to commissions. Now, where I hope it differs compared to commissions is the fact that those portals are in fact explorable. Like, you don't just jump in and there's a boss there and then beat the boss in a certain amount of time, get rewards. I actually want to be able to jump into a portal. Like, if you know anything about the storyline, obviously, you go through different areas of the portal before you meet the boss. And I hope that's going to be the case where we fight different ads, different mobs, collect loot, etc., power up, level up, and then eventually get to the boss, kill the boss, close the portal. I think that's the way that one should go. And if it goes that way, it has a leg up against assignments, which are very, very boring in One Punch Man, unfortunately. So if they do that correctly, the Hunter mode might be the mode for me, where it's a 4-player mode, very similar to One Punch Man World's assignments, but instead you get a little bit more exploration, a little more taste of the world that is inside the portal, and more about getting the hype to get to a boss versus just facing a boss right away. So some might prefer the assignments. I think the Hunter mode, if it works that way, will be much better. And then lastly, there's a time attack mode, right, which is more of like a leaderboard for you to kind of play around and do, which I really do hope is worthwhile in terms of loot. I hope there's some form of loot and it's just not a there's a leaderboard for just bragging rights. I hate bragging right things. So I hope that that's not the case. Now, in regards to the gacha, let's talk a little bit about that. Both of them are going to probably have character gachas, which we know One Punch Man does, and they both have weapon gachas, which I'm assuming this is not going to be drops. These are probably things you have to summon for. If the drop rates are as low as One Punch Man, we're in trouble. Right? If the pity is worse than One Punch Man, we're in trouble. If the pity doesn't carry over, there's a problem. If there's a reroll banner that's costing, there's a problem. These are all 3 things that are 1, 2, 3. I think that's maybe even 4 things that I just said are all major issues with One Punch Man that they've recently just started to fix, at least for most of them. If Solo Leveling Arise wants to succeed, it needs to avoid those pitfalls. The reroll banner, there shouldn't be one. It should be if it's a ×10 summon for free, it should be free. There should be no paying for that. If they introduce an easy reroll process, that's even better, right? People can then sit and reroll and get what they want. Pity. There should be a fairly good pity, and the pity should always carry over. If there are limited weapons that come out and we can summon for those, that limited weapon, if we don't get it, if there is a 50-50, which there most likely will be, it should be carried over to the next banner for us to get something else. That should be a no-brainer. And the rates have to be decent. Now, with Netmarble, I'm scared for this because I just talked about Tower of God a couple of videos ago, and I quit the game because of how bad the rates were. And if Netmarble is doing anything like that, then they're in trouble. So I hope the rates are actually much better than One Punch Man World or their previous games, or else this game is going to suffer from that, all right? Endgame. Oh, man. Endgame. So this is going to be a big one, guys. A lot of people are going to wail and rush through this game because they love the character, the manhwa, and it's going to draw them in. Whales are going to rush through. If you cannot keep your whales entertained at Endgame, you're going to lose your players. One Punch Man World just did exactly that. They lost most of their players because Endgame had nothing going on for it. If that is going to be the same case with Solo Leveling Arise, you're in for a rude awakening as Netmarble developers. You're going to be having problems. Now, I do know they're introducing original characters with original storylines, so that will help for sure add content to the existing world, but Endgame needs to be something that will engage your spenders to want to spend more, right? And spenders, of course, be responsible when you spend. So those are things that are going to be a big part of it. Now, another thing that I want to make clear is the weapons themselves. If there is a gacha system, or the characters themselves, if there is a gacha system, I hope you're able to choose the weapon you want to go for. It's not just random. I think that's a big one as well, too. With the limited amount of weapons that there are, I hope dupes are not a major thing as well, too. Like, if dupes are a huge part of the game, and the more dupes you get, the way more powerful you become, and they impact the game negatively, then free-to-play won't be playing this game, right? So you got to make it dupe-friendly, where it's not a necessity, but it's good to have. So those are some major concerns I have personally with the game. Content release update is a big one as well. Like, you can't take forever to release content. And currencies. Currency is huge, guys. There has to be a way to get currency for free-to-play players as well as whales that's a little bit more friendly for the entire community. If you do exactly what One Punch Man did and have a one-time ability of getting currency and then there's no other way to do it, you're going to lose players right away. Right away. So guys, those are some of the concerns I have. I'm very, very excited for this game. I want it to succeed more than anything because I love this manhwa. I love this anime. And if it doesn't do these things correctly, I could see another bust like One Punch Man World. And I hope that's not the case. So when this game goes live, you know, I'll be streaming this. I'll be playing it nonstop. I'll be giving you all the tips and tricks that I come up with or learn. I'll be loving this game from the beginning. But what my concern, of course, is the middle and the end, which is what keeps your players engaged. The beginning is always the honeymoon mode. That's the easy one to get through. It's the one after the honeymoon phase is over that you got to make us want to stick around and play. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Can't wait to hear from you. Take care.